We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children.
When you take a look at what's happened in our state with the fraud issue alone, I can't name someone that's been fired by his administration.
In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all.
Like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bells to get notifications. Anytime I go live or make a video, I know y'all enjoying the new set. Let's get into this. So let's get into the topic at hand, and that is your boy Tim Walz deciding to walk out of the race like a coward, and the coward that he is. It's very clear why he quit. It's very clear why he will never get reelected, because the fraud is out of control. And it literally took Nick Shirley, a regular YouTuber. he got on there talking trash to Nick the other day. Now look at him. But a YouTuber exposing basic things that he should have been doing.
I knew this video was going to be super dangerous to film because of obviously how hostile it is, and as we are exposing legit fraud happening. I did get security for this video, and I was able to do it through the Black Line Guardian. And if you guys want to help fund my security in the future, you can go down to the link down below. They're not paying me to say any of this. They came and decided to help me out for this video. So you can go to Black Line Guardian, the link's down below, and click Guardian for Nick, and those funds will directly go to my security and future videos as we are exposing lots of things happening, and especially with this fraud. Like I said, they're not sponsoring this video. I'm just giving them a shout out because of how they helped me. So go down to the link down below, click Guardian for Nick, and let's keep going.
But anyway, let's go to the news clip, and we're going to go through this story methodically. Roll the first clip.
Major breaking political news out of St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tim Walz will not seek re-election as governor, and what a fall from grace this has been for him. You might recall in the spring of 2023, he pushed through several progressive ideas to the state legislature that caught the attention of Barack Obama, who went to Twitter to give his endorsement for the programs, which eventually caught the attention of people like Kamala Harris, who chose him to be her running mate as the vice president. Introduced in Chicago at the convention in August of last year, a debate that was an absolute disaster, with J.D. Vance at one point called himself a knucklehead. But after reportedly billions of dollars have been stolen from taxpayers by way of the state of Minnesota, Tim Walz says he will not seek a third term. What a remarkable 2 years in the national spotlight has been for him, Dana.
And Walz hit Trump in his announcement. He said Donald Trump and his allies in Washington, in St. Paul, and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in America to raise a family.
Fraud. All right, let's play his speech, because we don't hate these people enough. And when I say hate these people, I'm saying hate their actions. We don't have enough disdain for these coward, weirdo, ignorant folk. Like, at one point, you would think, and I think most of us thought, that if you were the governor of a state, you were with it in your mind. Like, between here and here, you were functional. You had foresight. You had integrity. You had some level of charisma. As we have now noticed, you can be completely stupid and be the governor of a state. Completely stupid. Like this guy. You know how corny and weird he is? How did he get elected? Well, this is his speech after he had people waiting for 45 minutes to listen to him say something. I'm going to play his speech in its entirety. But look at the projection. Why are you not running for re-election if you did such a good job? But instead of taking responsibility for your actions and them Somalians defrauding the state to the tune of billions of dollars, this is what the clown says. Roll the clip.
A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis. We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But the political gamesmanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder. We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children. We've got
Hold on, Shirley. I thought I was going to let him finish his speech without me interjecting. Did you just say right-wing YouTuber breaking into child care facilities? No. You said breaking in. Breaking into a facility is against the law. That is a crime. I haven't seen Nick Shirley commit a single crime. But you rather call him a right wing and claim that he's breaking the law than for you to address these Somalians defrauding the people for billions of dollars. You know how stupid you got to be. That's why don't blame nobody else but you, bruh. Don't tell the prosecutors and we're going to win this war against. They already whooped y'all. They already won. You can't get that money back. What are you saying? Let him finish.
President of the United States demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on. It's disgusting and it's dangerous.
Hold on. Wrongfully confiscating funds that belongs to the people. All Trump said was that if you prove that you're a legitimate organization, you can receive federal funding. If you cannot prove you're a legitimate organization, why in the will we be giving you money? This is how y'all got the fraud in the first place. You're not even checking, Tim. Y'all don't even care. They ain't got no kids in some of these places. Y'all had a dude come on TV and talk about people breaking through cinder block walls. Slit like a snake. Like y'all literally think we stupid enough to believe that a human being slid between cinder blocks and a wall and made a 90-degree angle cutting out the wall like this with a brick next to it. I'm a cuss. And I'm going to lose my salvation talking about this. Let him finish, but I'm sick of these people, bruh. I hope they all burn in hell. I really do. I genuinely do. Unless you find Christ and you repent, I hope you burn in hell. And I want to look through the glass and see you burning because you're a devil ruining people's lives. People paying all that money in tax and you effing over the people. I hate these people, man. And when I say I hate these people, I hate what they do. Roll the clip.
Politics with the future of this state. It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. We welcome ideas from anyone.
No, you don't.
In any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. And we welcome the involvement of the federal government.
That's what Nick just did.
I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem and every intention of trying to profit off of it. Which brings me to this. 2026 is an election year. Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race. But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret. I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job.
All right, shut up. I'm done listening to that mother. I'm done listening to that mother. I don't understand how functional adults can look at that fool and say, I'm going to vote for that guy. functional adults can say what he said made sense. I don't get what's wrong with y'all, Minnesotans. What's wrong? I'm talking about the ones that voted for Tim. I'm not talking about the good ones, right? That some of y'all, the patriots that we know that ain't stupid enough to vote for an idiot. These people are idiots. And when Donald Trump called him out on it, it sounds like it's superfluous, but it's not. The dude is a low IQ fool. All right, let's go to a little bit of a panelist on Fox News, kind of talk a little bit about Tim Walz, and we're going to have Donald Trump talk about him as well. Let's jump to Donald Trump. Let's go to Donald Trump. This is what I was saying Donald Trump said, and like people think Donald Trump is exaggerating. He's just saying it like it is. Roll the clip.
One thing we haven't heard you specifically react to is the Minnesota fraud that we've seen play out.
Well, it just doesn't get worse. I've reacted. It's almost not even believable. This very stupid, low IQ governor, he's a very stupid man because, you know, I had a campaign against him with JD, and he's a stupid man, and he's a corrupt politician, and the Somalians are ripping off our country to the tune of, looks like $19 billion, but that's only what they can find. So usually when you're looking at 19, that would mean it could be 50, but the numbers are astronomical. Think of it. They have a dead country. They don't have government. They don't have anything. They don't have a military. All they do is run around shooting people and trying to capture ships. You know, we don't let them take ships anymore. You know why? We use the same exact missile on them that we use on the drug carriers. And it's very effective. So, you notice there's nobody capturing ships anymore? Because as they head out to go capture the ship, and the ship doesn't want to fire back because it's very flammable stuff in many cases. And the insurance companies don't want, because they build $1 billion ship, and they don't want anybody firing rockets into the ship. But we're hitting them so hard, and it's very similar. Same missile system. It's called deadly accurate. And do you notice that ships aren't being taken anymore? The pirates are.
All right, he's talking about Somalian pirates who's completely ridiculous nut jobs, and like, I just think we got to stop being politically correct. But I can go on a rant about that, and I'm gonna save y'all the rant. Let's go to another aspect of this that most people are not talking about. A whistleblower came out, and this is about Tim Walz. A whistleblower came out and claimed, now he a nut job for killing somebody, but the guy literally claimed that Tim Walz is the one that put him up to killing that representative in Minnesota for voting against these Somalian people, but voting against giving them fraud money, pretty much what it was. And I'm just throwing it out there because nobody's talking about this aspect. If this guy is actually telling the truth, this could be one of the reasons why Tim Walz stepped down. Everybody that's watching Nick, that's excited about Nick, that's sharing his content and videos, have to understand there's two important things that are happening. One is that he's exposing corruption and changing the world.
Right.
The second is he needs security. And so him discovering just $100 million worth of fraud just right there.
Yeah, in one afternoon.
One afternoon.
Wasn't that hard. And now he's like literally having death threats and bounties on his head.
Yeah.
And after speaking with you, you're like, all right, this kid needs to go 24/7.
So Nick went back. People may not notice because he haven't released the video yet, but he went back.
Yeah, he's been back.
And he told me that it's worse than the first video. Shout out to Black Line for being the line between good and evil, protecting Nick Shirley and his family. So all you got to do, the link will be in the description section, go to Black Line Guardian Fund. Black Line Guardian Fund. Become a guardian today at whatever rate or whatever price that you want to give. It's a 501c3 tax-deductible donation. All right? So a whistleblower came out and claimed, now he a nut job for killing somebody, but the guy literally claimed that Tim Walz is the one that put him up to killing that representative in Minnesota for voting against these Somalian people, but voting against giving them fraud money, pretty much what it was. And I'm just throwing it out there because nobody's talking about this aspect. If this guy is actually telling the truth, this could be one of the reasons why Tim Walz stepped down. One is because he's corrupt, like Trump said. He knew that the Somalis were committing all this fraud, and he could potentially have had something to do with this other situation. Let's roll the clip.
Okay, you guys remember last year, a Democratic lawmaker was assassinated in her home along with her husband simply because she voted not to give free healthcare to illegals in Minnesota anymore. You guys remember that, right? Well, Melissa Hortman and her husband, assassin, is this guy, right? And that would be besties and employee of this guy because he hired him to do stuff. Well, this guy is singing like a nightingale right now. Singing. Wrote a whole letter to the FBI. You don't believe me?
In his letter, Vance Belter claims that Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota wanted him and approached him about killing United States Senator Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. Belter claims in the letter that he wanted nothing to do with Governor Walz's plan and that he would go public if he insisted. Belter claims that people threatened to hurt his family if he didn't participate in his plan to murder Senators Klobuchar and Smith. Belter says in his letter that he met with people to talk about the request, and that when he arrived at the meeting, some people were waiting to kill him. Belter wrote that he was able to get away and that he went back a short time later and shot those people. The letter, as I said, is contained in an unsealed search warrant and will be...
Hey, listen, I ain't no journalist, I ain't no FBI investigator, but it don't get no better than this. Vance Belter, who was friends with Tampon Tim and was an employee of Tampon Tim, wrote a letter to the FBI saying he was directed to carry out hits on behalf of the man himself, Tampon Timmy. Now, why he's not yet in handcuffs is beyond me, but this need to see handcuffs, perp walks, mugshots, and convictions. You heard me? Get that the f up out of there.
All right, so disregard the harsh language, but no, could it be? That's all I want to know. You know, like, my thing is this. If somebody's making an accusation like that, we can see that Tim Walz is a crook, and all these Democrats are crooks. I want to see what the end result is going to be. That dude could be a nut job and did it all, and now he want to blame Tim Walz because he think he's going to get some time off. But I really do honestly believe that there could be some there, and it needs to be investigated.